Eddie, thank you very much about this interview. I want to know your thoughts about Crawford's fight because it got us like by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, look, sooner or later, Crawford has to fight. You know, he's been out for a long time. It's obviously disappointing for boxing. You know, Crawford Avanesyan is a fight that no one wants to see, but somehow he's getting paid a lot of money. So good luck to him. I think that really, look, I've been there before trying to make big fights that haven't been possible to make, and honestly, they haven't been my fault. Maybe some, but so there has to be a reason why this fight didn't get made. I don't know that reason. Sometimes the fighter's expectancy of how much money they should make in a fight is not real life, you know. And the problem with Spence Crawford is, and I've said it for a long time, to us, to people in boxing, it's a massive fight. But to the general world, it's not as big as you think it is, right? So therefore, the money these guys want is not necessarily achievable. And if it was achievable, trust me, the fight would get made. Like, if the numbers existed, the fight gets made because everyone makes money. But the problem here is Crawford says, I want X. You know, Spence says, I want X. And the promoters, Al Heyman, look at the money and go, we can't do this fight without losing money. And we're not prepared to lose money. Now, in the instance of Crawford's next fight, someone is going to lose many, many millions, but maybe they don't care, but they're not running a business.
Do you consider the fighters have a lot of power now in the negotiations of big fights?
Yeah, of course, because they're the talent. Look, fighters, it's a dangerous sport. Fighters should get as much money as they deserve. But you can't take away from the reality of what a fighter generates. Terence Crawford has never done any pay-per-view numbers, right? When he boxed Amir Khan, top rank, hemorrhaged millions of dollars in that fight. So therefore, and Errol Spence has never done any big pay-per-view numbers. And when he did, he had Mikey Garcia as a dance partner, and still that only did 300,000 buys or whatever it is. So neither of them are proven in terms of pay-per-view draw. I believe that fight would do good numbers because it's a tremendous fight. But you can't guarantee that fact unless you're prepared. You know, the only person that has to roll the dice is us, right? I mean, the fighters are rolling the dice because they have to get in there and fight. But in terms of the numbers, we roll the dice. And we're big boys. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But there has to be a logical decision. When there's so much money in a fight and the numbers are right on every side, fights get made like that when two guys want it. But when the numbers are unrealistic and there's too much doubt and risk, that's when people will kick back on the smaller points. Now, this is a fight where there's no political networks, you know, no cross promotion. It's just one free agent and PBC. But they couldn't get it made. And now, you know, you've seen the reaction of fans for Crawford against Avanesyan. You know what I mean? But he's got to fight at the same time. And if he's not going to fight Errol Spence right now, good luck to him because he's going to make a lot of money for an easy fight.
Why Terence Crawford is in that position if he doesn't have the numbers?
Because he's never, maybe he wasn't promoted correctly on the way through. Maybe the public have never, you know, you look at someone like Canelo Alvarez, the public adore him, right? You know, you do a weigh-in and you get 3,000 or 4,000 people just turn up to a weigh-in. It's someone that has an emotional association with fans, right? Crawford, when he fights in Omaha, they love him, but outside of Omaha, you could walk him down any street in America, people don't know who he is, and he's a brilliant fighter, maybe pound for pound number one, you know? He's that good, but he's never been a draw. That's the problem, and that's not something you can rectify now. That's something that you have to build over years. You know, fighters don't have any profile and then all of a sudden become huge stars overnight. Like at 34 or whatever it is, you build it over a period of time. You build the fan base, you build the exposure globally, and you build them into a big star by aligning with brands through, you know, broadcast numbers, through shoulder content, through everything. But it's just never happened for Terence Crawford, and he's a tremendous fighter.
Terence Crawford have a space to improve, right?
Improve what?
To be in that position.
Too late.
Too late?
Too late. Because how old is he? 34?
34.
I mean, it doesn't mean he can't become a bigger name, but you build stars over years and years and years. Now, Canelo Alvarez started fighting at 16. He fought Floyd Mayweather at what, 21, 22, wherever he was. So, and Anthony Joshua, when he won gold, we were aligned him with Under Armour. He was in stores all around the world. Beats by Dre, Lucozade, all these big brands that build and build and build the profile. Crawford never had that. Errol Spence never had that either, because they haven't got, Top Rank's a little bit different, but PBC aren't really a true commercial promotional organisation, in my opinion. They're not really looking to build brands of fighters, and I just feel like for that reason they never really created many stars, and I just feel like that's a fight that should be one of the biggest fights in boxing. It should be guaranteed to do 1 million buys. It should be guaranteed to do 25 million on the gate.
It's a very sad situation.
It's not too sad. There's sadder things in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
There's worse things happening.
Yeah, you got it.
I know. It's sad for boxing. It's sad for boxing. But it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time.
Yeah.
But the problem still comes down to, look, if there was $20 million in a pot, right, and there's more than that in this fight, and he wants 8 million, and he wants 8 million, and you can cover your costs, and the promotion makes money. It gets made in a heartbeat. If he wants 20 million, and he wants 20 million, and there's 25 million in the and the fighters never really get the blame. The promoters get the blame. We want to make great fights. We want to make money, right? And if there's money to be made and great fights to be made, that's all we want. But it's very frustrating sometimes when you're trying to negotiate with a fighter, because the public don't see that. And it's not always the fighter. Sometimes it's the manager. Sometimes it's the agent. Sometimes it's the lawyer. And the manager says, he deserves this for that fight. Why? How do you know that? What experience do you have? On the numbers. No, that's just the number. That's what he should get. What? Where's the logic? You pulled a number from thin air. 25 million. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, wow.
On what basis? So but that's what we deal with. These people who don't understand the numbers. The fans don't care about us getting the blame. No, but also it's easy to blame the promoter. But fans also have to understand, we want big fights. We want to create big fights that make money, that rate on TV, that do good ticket sales, that get everybody excited. So it's not like we're sitting there going, oh no, we don't want to make Spence Crawford. No, they should be desperate to make that fight, and I'm sure they are. But when they sit down, and you just have to make a business decision and say, no, we're not prepared to do this fight and maybe lose $5 or $10 million for your benefit because we think you want the wrong amount of money. But the agent or the guy who works in a car dealership who says, nah, it's worth this much, This is what in the ear of a fighter all the time.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.